Hello again. So I recently posted a video about what I thought was the best running headphones that I've tried so far, and those were these, the Open Run by Shokz. In the previous video I compared the Open Run Shokz to the AirPods Pro, the Powerbeats Pro, and JBL headphones that I have. And these ones came out on top, being the most comfortable to wear. The fact that they don't go in your ear, they sit outside of your ear, so you don't have any issues with sweat. You don't have to worry about transparency mode because you can actually still hear everything around you because your ear is actually open. And they also have a very good battery life, 8 hours of battery life. They're completely waterproof. They're really lightweight. So those are just a win to me all around. Really the only thing that's negative is the price. It's still cheaper than some of the highest end headphones, but these retail for $129.99 new. I actually was able to get them on sale, so I got them for a lower price than that and used a gift card. But not everybody can do that. Right now online, these are full price. So I recently got reached out to by a company that sells headphones on Amazon called Soundpeats Audio. So I get to say it again that something was actually sent to me, but my opinions are my own. No one's going to get to review these until I post this video on YouTube. But since I just did that video about the Aftershokz, declaring them the best running headphones, I thought that I would do a follow-up once I got these. Something that I thought was pretty funny too. If we look at this box, it's almost, is that the same guy? Did they hire the same guy for the ad? Pretty close. So the style of these headphones is very similar. They have that wraparound kind of look to them, but one of the big differences is these ones actually sit over your ear. So they're not bone conduction headphones like the Aftershokz. These ones actually vibrate the sound through the bone, into your head. Where these are basically traditional headphones where they sit on top of your ear, so they're like an out of an ear headphone, but they call it air conduction technology. But basically that means it's like you're wearing a headphone outside of your ear. The sound still goes through your ear. There's a driver in these, so it's more like a traditional headphone. However, since these really just sit on top of your ear as opposed to being in it, you still do have that advantage of your ear being open to the outside, so you can still hear what's going on around you. Not as well as you can in the Shokz because your ear is completely open, whereas with these they're still putting sound into your ear, so your ear is competing to hear the sound from the headphone itself and the outside world. But you're definitely going to hear a lot more wearing these than you would with in-ear earbuds that are completely blocking out your hearing or anything that has noise cancellation. These also are very lightweight. They sit comfortably, very similar to the Shokz, the way that they're designed to wrap around your head. So they have that piece in the back, and then you just put it over and it sits right on top. However, the difference again with these ones is that they're actually on your ear as opposed to in front of it. I weighed both of these on my scale, and the Soundpeats Run Free Lite came in at 28.5 grams or 0.99 ounces. And the Shokz came in at 25.5 grams or 0.9 ounces. So very, very similar in weight. The Shokz are a teeny bit lighter, but they're both like you're barely wearing anything when you put these on. Surprisingly, as far as sound quality goes, I think I would actually give it to the less expensive headphones over the Shokz, mainly just because of the way that they deliver sound. The fact that these ones still have a driver in them that can deliver bass into your ear makes it sound more like a traditional headphone, where these ones are vibrating, on the outside. So when you turn up the volume really high, you actually feel it vibrating on the outside of your head, which is kind of a strange sensation. So I tend to not turn them up all the way. You don't really need to be blasting it anyway. I usually have it around 75%. And then they're not vibrating too much, and I can still hear the music really well. But these having an actual driver in them means they can get better bass and a little bit louder than these ones can. I can turn these up the full way, and they're not vibrating my head. The Soundpeats also have a lot of premium options at really a not premium price. These have a multi-point connectivity, so with the Bluetooth, you can actually connect them to multiple things at once, so it can toggle between them. The Shokz can do that as well, but again, they're $129, where these are only $29, so a $100 difference. This really has every feature that these ones does for $100 less. They also gave me a discount code that you can use to get an additional 10% off. So these might be the best headphones you could possibly get for the money. CNET actually ranked these the best value open-ear sport headphone as well. So don't just take my word for it. CNET thinks they're pretty good as well. Are either of these going to rock your world for being the best headphone you've ever listened to? No. but I would say that the sound quality of these is actually a little bit better than the Shokz. Now, as far as usability when you're wearing them, and build quality, that's where I think the more expensive headphone has a couple of advantages. With this one, basically, I'm assuming this side is just the battery because there's no buttons on here. This side has all of the buttons. So the buttons that are on here, this is the power button. There's volume up and down. And if you long press this, it skips tracks, or long press this, it goes back. So you can adjust the volume up and down, change the track. And if you tap this, you can pause the song or restart it. And then you hold it down, that'll turn it off. So you do have all that functionality on the one piece. But that is something when you're running, it's a little bit harder to feel it sometimes. Can't really do this with both of them on. But once I have this on, if you're moving kind of fast, you got to kind of feel back here and see, okay, which button is it? And what I tend to do is find the middle one because that's the round button. So find that with my finger and then move left or right, and I can feel if I'm feeling the volume up, down. This doesn't have as secure a fit on me as these ones do because these really sit right on your temples and kind of hold on, whereas this is sitting on top of your ear, so it does move around a little bit. Still very good compared to a lot of other headphones that I have. The Soundpeats are listed as sweat-proof but not waterproof. They're mainly made out of plastic, and you do have some, openings where the actual driver is. This one, when you charge it, also has a piece here where you lift up, and then it's a USB-C charger underneath, USB-C mini. So I would not, as far as water resistancy goes, that's where these are definitely going to win. This has a very high waterproof rating. It's kind of coated with like a silicone, on the outside the whole way. There's no real openings on it. There are for the microphones. And then this, where it charges, is waterproof as well because it has that special proprietary cable that just kind of snaps on there. And as far as the buttons go, this one has the multifunction button right up here on the one. So I really like that because that's the only button there. So when you go to press it, you can change tracks or do whatever you need to do with that multifunction, and then the volume's in a completely separate place behind the other side. So here it's just the volume up, down, and then here's the button for everything else. So using it while you're running, these are easier to use because those buttons are separated as opposed to being in the same place. The $29 headphones also have an app that you can download to your phone where you can play around with the equalizer and do some other things to it. I haven't really used that at all. I just wanted to put them on and run with them and see how they compared. I have not drained the battery on these yet either. It says 17 hours of battery life. I ran in these for an entire week. I probably did at least 6 hours, maybe 7 hours of running, and they're still going strong. One thing with this one though is it's not giving me a battery reading, so you're not going to really know how low it is until you get to the end. With the Shokz, not aftershocks, when you turn these on, the minute you turn them on, it tells you the battery. So it'll say battery high, battery medium, or battery low. Whereas this one, it turns on and just says connected. So I'm not sure how charged the battery is, but the internal clock that I have, I know that I've probably used that about a third of the battery life of these. But that's something, both of them charge very quickly. I believe this one, it's about 1 to 2 hours for a full charge, and then you're good for 17 hours. So, you could charge these once and use them for a couple weeks, without having to worry about the battery. Whereas these ones have an 8-hour battery life, which is still going to get you through a marathon and maybe through your week's worth of running. But this one does have a longer battery life, but they both charge very quickly. So if you have some time before you go out on your run to plug either of these in, you're going to be fine. So who is the winner of this battle? That's kind of a tough one. But if we're going by sound quality, battery life, and price, these are actually highly superior to the Shokz because you're paying very, very little. You're getting most of the same functionality. I like the functionality performance-wise of these ones as far as the volume controls and while I'm using them while I'm running. I also think that these are a little bit more comfortable since they go outside my ear, and for actually hearing your surroundings, these are better because you're not plugging up your ear. Even though that one, it's sitting on top, the sound's still going directly in there, so you're competing for what you're able to hear, especially if you turn the volume up high in these. But as far as a value headphone for running, these are probably the best one I've ever seen. Build quality is potentially my only reservation with these ones. They're just a little bit more flimsy, more plasticky than the more expensive one, but I guess that $100 had to go somewhere. These have a really nice tight fit that once it's on there really stays in place. I did find when I was running really faster paces on one run that these were starting to move around on me a little bit. Not like they were going to fall off or anything like that, but I did get a little bit of bounce in them when I was really turning up the pace. But if you're looking for a new pair of running headphones and you don't want to pay over $100, I don't think you're going to do really any better than these. These are the Soundpeats Run Free Lite over-ear air conduction headphones. I will put a link to this in the video, as well as they gave me a 10% discount code that you can use. So if you need a new pair of running headphones, these are lightweight, they work really well, have a really long battery life, they're going to stay on your head. Those are all the boxes that I'm looking for in a good headphone for running. I still think on race day, or if it's wet outside, I'm definitely going to be going for the Shokz instead, just because of that durability, the waterproofness, and they fit a little bit tighter on my head. But as far as value goes, the Soundpeats are an amazing deal. That's all I have for today. Please remember to like and subscribe. I recently got up to 400 subscribers. I have to get to 1,000 before YouTube cares that I'm here at all. So I appreciate anyone who's subscribed. And if you're watching this video and like my content, please subscribe and help me to maybe make this channel into something one day. But I'm enjoying sharing my thoughts with everyone, and hopefully I'm helping people to pick good shoes and gear for running. So I'll see you in the next one.